I'm going to talk about arteriosclerosis. And arteriosclerosis is becoming a very common condition. And, in the past it was, middle-aged and elderly people, but more and more young people today are getting this condition. In the past, as far as science is concerned, they trained us and they taught us that the exact cause was unknown. They did talk about some underlying conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure, smoking, too much alcohol. They talked about these things as underlying factors, but they're not the exact cause. So today scientists are looking at our lifestyle and they are proving the exact cause of this condition. And if it is our lifestyle, it means that it's in our hands, that we can reclaim good health by, number one, we can prevent it. Number two, we can know the cause of it. And number three, if we know the cause, we can avoid what's causing it and go back and create a healthy lifestyle and reverse the condition. So it has to be very simple. When I read these scientific books and research today, they are very in-depth, and an awful lot of people don't understand some of the words that are used. So making it very simple so that everybody can have good health is what's the most important thing that we do, I think, today. Teach people. We need to be re-educated. So the first thing I always say to people is we need to eliminate fear. People talk about arteriosclerosis and straight away fear comes into them because it is a horrible, horrible thing. So we need to eliminate the fear. We need to reclaim our good health. We can reclaim it. This here is just a little diagram that I made, a few little diagrams just to explain it as best I can. Is a healthy artery. This is the outside of the artery. Then when you do a cross section of it here, you see this surface on the inside. And these are, when you look at it through a very powerful microscope, these are the little cells on the walls of the artery, and the blood flows through it beautifully. Now, as I say, it is a preventative disease. It is an inflammatory disease. And it is best prevented. We now know the cause and we now know how to reverse it. The science is there and it is proven science. This here is the second one then, is, as I said, a bigger cross-section of the artery, the inner wall and the cells of the arteries. The second one then, this one down here then, is where I show that there are toxins that get into the blood, and later on I will explain how these toxins get into the blood. They shouldn't be in the blood, but how they do get in. And these toxins are the blue and the green. They irritate the very cells in the inner wall of the artery. Some of these irritants are things like processed meat, cheap harmful fats, like sunflower oil, soy, corn, margarines, fried foods, fizzy drinks, too much alcohol, all junk food, white sugar, aspartame, excess coffee, GMO foods, preservatives in food, and white flour. Anything really that's man-made. Now I will tell you about the good things as well. And some people, when you go through a list of these things, they think they can't eat anything if you take all this off their list. But, you don't need half the food that you eat anyway in the first place. And if you just eat healthy foods, you'll be well nourished and you'll be healthy. And there is an awful lot of very good food out there when we look for it. So the first thing, as I say, is the irritants. And these irritants irritate the lining of the arteries. And I have showed them in pink. And they can be patched in different places. And they irritate, as I said, the walls. That's the first thing that happens. Then the next thing that happens then, if the lifestyle is not improved, and the person goes on, what happens then is, because there's a bad lifestyle, what happens is the cells of the artery begin to break down. And when they begin to break down, the body then has to try and do something to repair itself. And because it hasn't got the right nutrients in the body because of the poor diet and bad lifestyle, the body has to try and do something to protect you. So the first thing it does is it starts grabbing anything any fats, it doesn't matter, the bad fats, it doesn't matter what it finds, anything that can just block this area here, this inflamed area here, because it wants to prevent a total breakdown of the wall of the artery. And this really is a bit like putting sandbags to a door when the water is coming in. Your body is doing you a favour. And inflammation is a sign that there's a problem there. All inflammation is a sign that there's a problem there, just needs to be corrected. So this cholesterol, bad cholesterol, there's good cholesterol and bad cholesterol, but this bad cholesterol begins to block up the arterial wall, and that builds over a period of time. And as it's building, again, the body is doing its best to protect us. And what it does is it puts a tiny little wall around this cholesterol, trying to keep the condition, the problem underneath on a cellular level contained. But if the lifestyle is not corrected, what happens over a period of time is this here ruptures, like everything, it breaks through. And what happens then is a clot is formed. And when a clot is formed, then if the clot is very big, you can have total blockage in the artery. So the next thing then, of course, is heading for the doctor and heading for more management of the problem. And what can happen is the wall of the artery is flexible. So what can happen is a wire mesh can be fed into the artery, into the areas where there are problems, and that can push out the cholesterol, and it can, for a while, it can contain the problem on the walls of at a cellular level, only for a time. Or the other thing is that if it's really very bad, what can happen is, the second thing is surgery, and that's where they just cut away the problem altogether and just tie the two parts together again, and away the person goes. Now, usually at this stage, people do change their lifestyle. They do a bit of exercise, and they do a bit of exercise and maybe change their diet a little bit. But they live a life, of worry, because they haven't really worked on a cellular level. They haven't looked at the deeper solutions. And a lot of the time then they're given drugs as well, left with drugs. So if we want to eliminate the problem, the only thing we have to do is reverse. It's just reverse the problem. And reversing the problem means the first thing we need to do is we need to eliminate toxins out of our bodies, out of our diet. Eliminate the toxins. The second thing we need to do then is eliminate the toxins. The next thing we have to do is we have to start introducing vital minerals that are needed. And why do we need to bring in these vital minerals that are not really found in food? Minerals are found in rocks, are found like they're rocks. They need to be brought up and scientifically brought and made into a liquid in order for them to be used by the body. So we need these vital vitamins, minerals, micronutrients and trace elements. And what they do is they start to work on a cellular level. So they start to work on the walls of the artery, and they start to replace the damaged the inflammation and the damaged cells. They start to repair and bring in new cells, building a new wall. And as that happens, the body then will start cleaning away, start taking away all the bad fat, because now you're bringing in good cholesterol into your diet, and the bad fats and the toxins are removed. So our body has a wonderful, amazing, magnificent ability to heal itself. It just works with whatever we give it. If we give it bad, all it can do is bring out disease. If we bring it good, then it can make us shine and let us be happy. So reversing disease is very important. So science is just, it's there, it's proven, and it's very clear. The only thing we have to do is put in clean food. We need to put in lots of water, as I said before, salt in our water, in our diet, a little bit of exercise. Some people go mad on exercise, but no, a little bit of moderate exercise is important. Just bring up the heartbeat, to strengthen the muscle of the heart, just gradually, bit by bit. You don't have to be running a marathon or anything, or going to the gym 3 times a week. The other thing we need is sunshine. Sunshine is very, very important to our health. as I said earlier, we need essential minerals and we need essential fats. It takes years to develop disease. Person doesn't get a heart attack overnight. It takes years. Sometimes it even starts, scientists tell us that it can even start in childhood. A child could be even born with the predisposition to heart disease. But when we take action, it can actually take a very short time to reverse disease, as we're seeing today. Many people now are turning to a healthy lifestyle, and they're proven that it's possible. When the cells are given the right tools, the right nutrients necessary for repair and renewal. We only need to learn once and we benefit for life. I often think that it's like, if we put the wrong fuel into our car, we don't expect the mechanic to solve the problem. No, we correct the problem ourselves by knowing the only solution is to put the right fuel in. So that's all we need to do with our bodies. The right fuel, and we will be mentally and physically and emotionally healthy. And that is what really holistic healing is all about. And it's in your hands and in my hands. It's up to us and the choices we make. So let's make healthy choices and be healthy and happy.